Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to your weekly FPL Q&A. As is still someone in the chat saying he's shipwrecked off the coast of Cape Verde. I don't know about that. I think it's just the fact that Brighton lost 7-0. But Sam, you're
Bless
laughing.
him.
We're not talking about our teams, although the chat wants to.
No, we're what?
You'll
Nah,
never
that's the
walk
it's the
alone.
league. It's the League Cup. It's got no relevance. It's
Levy
no
out.
relevance.
Will
No
Ange win a
relevance.
redundancy payout? Yeah, Sam, how are you? Besides
I'm
the obvious.
I'm all right actually. Yeah, I'm all right. I can't find my headphones, and it's thrown me that I can't find them. So now I'm having to wear my other headphones. I don't like them. So yeah, not having the right gear is upsetting. But never mind. I'll find them later.
Well, you're on a green arrow. It's good news.
Yes, I am on a green arrow. Nice green arrow as well.
What did you do in the end?
Well, it all changed, didn't it? So we did our Q&A. We kind of knew where we were going, like on Thursday last week, and then Friday, bang, everything's like up in the air. What did I do? I played the assistant manager chip on David Moyes. I always said right from the beginning that I wanted to play it on managers that I could benefit from the table bonus. That was always the way that I was going to use the chip. I think if you don't like play it that way, for me anyway, it was a wasted opportunity. That's how I was seeing it. Like, obviously, it's high risk, high reward because you could end up getting nothing if they lose the game, but equally, if they get something, it can go really big. So I played it on Moyes. I had 3 Liverpool anyway, so I would have had to have sold a Liverpool asset in order to bring in Slot, and I didn't want to do that. But even if I'd have just had 2 Liverpool, I would have still gone for Moyes. So yeah, that's in play. I had big returns for, well, like everybody who didn't sell him for Wood and also for Macheta, both of them coming in absolute clutch. So that was great. The only negative really of my game week so far is benching Elanga, which I did on the back of Morgan Rodgers's Champions League heroics, and that did not end well. And the annoying thing about it is I knew it wouldn't either, because Aston Villa post Champions League, they're always absolutely
Yeah.
dreadful. And I knew I should have just trusted my gut and gone with Rodgers and gone with Elanga over Rodgers, but I just couldn't bring myself to bench someone who just got a hat trick. So that's the only kind of blot on the game week so far. Going into the final game of the week next Wednesday night. So I've got obviously my 3 Liverpool, depending upon if Trent makes it and is available. Was pleased to see Luis Diaz actually have a rest last night. That's the only mention you're going to get from me of the game last night. At least he got a rest. And so that was, I think positive from an FPL perspective, because he has looked really tired the last few weeks. So the fact that he had a rest is probably a good thing for me and my FPL team. And then I've got Moisey as well. So I don't really know what I'm hoping for. I mean, clearly I'm hoping that Everton gets something out of the game. Maybe like a really boring 0-0 would be
No, you want
quite
Everton to
good.
win. That 18 points.
I just don't think that also, I live with a Liverpool fan, right? Like I can't bring myself to want Everton to beat Liverpool. So I'm kind of thinking, like, my gut feeling on Friday was that if I could get somewhere around the 15 points out of David Moyes for this game week and then move him to another doubler for 25, I'd be winning. So the fact that I've got 12 already, that was way more than I was thinking I was going to get, because I was not expecting them to keep a clean sheet or score as many goals as they did against Leicester. So that I'm already up is kind of how I'm looking at it. So if he could pick up 8 for a draw, if he could lock in a clean sheet, then that's 10 more. So I'll be on 22 if that 0-0 draw comes off, which would be a terrific start to that chip. And then I'll be moving it. Now, obviously, we know that the only other doubling manager outside Slot is Emery.
Yeah.
So Emery, in he comes. He'll be my assistant manager for game week 25 now.
Yeah, I went Slot. I think that was with the double. I think that's just was too good to miss, and I just didn't trust Everton.
Did you have 3 Liverpool
Yeah,
already?
I did. I got rid of Gakpo, yeah.
Did you? That's
Yeah.
interesting.
I just didn't trust, like, I was speaking on burning questions, I just didn't, like, you want to think Everton to beat Leicester, who now obviously they have, and Beto did well, but you thinking, like, their team, they got Beto up front, I just didn't want it to tank, and I thought with Slot, I can get 3 out of 4 wins over 2 weeks, probably, and
Yeah.
move on in 26 to
Any ideas where you'll go?
Well, you won't like me saying it, but McKenna at Spurs, home to Spurs.
Well, there's no table bonus there.
There is at the minute. Yeah, there's 5 places.
There might not be by then.
Who have you got this weekend?
Man United.
So you might beat them.
I mean, we might.
I'll be supporting you this weekend so I can play my chip. Or there's Southampton.
You've never supported Spurs in your life.
There's Southampton at home to Brighton. You could look at for 19. I'm probably going to chase that 19.
You are going rogue. Yeah, but I suppose because you haven't played the table. So I will see how I go with Emery. And so if I pick up a decent chunk of points with Moyes and then pick up something with Emery as well, I might actually just play it a little bit safer in 26.
Arsenal at home to West Ham.
And just go for goals, yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't think Arsenal will score loads of goals.
But it's not many safe, because Liverpool are playing City, so...
I know, but when you look at the fixtures in 20, hang on, I'm going to bring them back up. When you look at the 26 fixtures, I'll be just thinking about where could I see there being a significant amount of goals scored. And you see, it is difficult because, I mean, I could just leave it on Emery and have the Chelsea game because,
if Villa lose twice and we beat Brighton, there could maybe be table bonus.
There could be some table bonus, yeah. I mean, I don't want that because Emery will have already been my assistant manager. Yeah. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen.
Pep could have bonus against Slot.
Do we think Pep will have bonus against Slot? Realistically?
Well, it could do. I mean, if you think Newcastle gets something against City and Liverpool play twice.
It's true. Yeah, it is true. But
Newcastle beat City, they'll go above them and then it's table bonus, yeah.
But I just don't see it, Tom.
You can't see Isak destroying Man City.
I just don't see...
We can't see City beating Liverpool. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It's not really about the table bonus in that one because I just don't see City winning that game. I think Liverpool will comfortably beat them. So Bournemouth against Wolves, that's probably the fixture I'll look at.
Yeah, that's a safe one.
In
I'm
26.
going big. I don't see any... You go Southampton home to Brighton.
Okay. I mean, in my head, I'm like, and it's going to depend on how Emery goes. If Emery goes well the next week and I'm on 50 plus points from them before I get to 26, even 40 plus points, then I might be inclined to just go, all right, I'll go Iriola. I won't get any table bonus out of it, but Bournemouth could score plenty. And then that, if they score 5 goals against Wolves, which let's be frank, they could, then you're laughing. 5 points. You could get 6 points for your win, pick up 5 points for 5 goals. If it's a 5-0 win, then you're laughing, aren't you, with him? So that's my thought process, is that I'll probably play it a bit safer in 26, but maybe I'll continue to chase the upside of the table bonus in that one as well. We'll see.
Yeah. So I know we've been chatting for 10 minutes, but this is the Q&A, so we will get your questions in on the chat. Now we know that the double is confirmed. Liverpool and Villa doubling. Thank goodness for that. Someone who went for Slot and had no Spurs and avoided the chaos with the results this week. First question. No, that's a Spurs one. We're not doing that. Let's talk about Trent first. From Mohit. So we've both got Trent. This week I actually bit the bullet and just went Van Dijk to Trent. So slightly unfortunate if Trent's injured, but
did you break Trent?
Possibly. Well, he'll probably be back. It seems.
I think he'll be back as well. Yeah. I think he'll be back. I think obviously I don't think he'll play at the weekend. I think he'll be back for midweek.
But if he is out, say he was out for 25, where would you be looking? Mohit says maybe Kanate to free up money. I think that sounds quite smart. I'd want to keep a Liverpool defender for the double, I think. Wolves.
It's hard though, that, isn't it? Because it's using the because also I've got 29 in mind as well, and maybe at the moment I still don't want to play my free hit in 29.
Neither.
So unless the FA Cup throws up something wild and it's looking like we won't need the free hit later, but even then I kind of think, well, that's great because I don't have my triple captain left to play, so that means I could free hit in the double game week instead, and that always feels more valuable. So I don't know how I would feel about if Trent was out, I don't know how I'd feel about transferring him to another Liverpool player, because it's using one of the transfers I'm going to need for 29 to keep a player that isn't going to play in 29, or to move to a player that's not going to play.
Yeah, I think I'd probably go Gvardiol, to be fair. Just go early on Gvardiol.
Would you?
Yeah.
See, I think I would probably go for like one of the, which is part of the reason I haven't done it yet, because my planned transfer this week is to go Lewis Hall to Bournemouth.
Munoz. Sam, you're missing out on Munoz.
No,
Did you see him in the box in the 94th minute?
I did see him, but Munoz is going to be
Saved my week.
Well, yeah, Mateta was similar for me.
Oh,
Munoz is going to be a sacrifice I just can't make because it's going to be the same for a lot of people that won't be able to get Mateta because of 29. Like I can't go there, but I can go for a Kirkes or somebody like that at Bournemouth. So that's my plan transfer this week. But I'm waiting to see some more updates on Trent, because if Trent isn't available, then instead of doing Hall out for him, I'd do Trent instead.
Yeah, it makes sense. We just touched on Bournemouth there with Kirkes, so we'll chat about Bournemouth. I'm looking to get a Bournemouth mid this week for Gordon. Mo hit in the chat pointing out that Kluivert's wife is giving birth soon.
Yeah,
I keep seeing this, but
she's due this week.
Do you think so? Do you have a Bournemouth midfielder?
Not yet.
You buying one this week?
Well, the problem I've got is that in order to buy one this week, I can't sell Rodgers or Diaz because they've got double game weeks, so they've got to stay. I clearly can't sell Salah and wouldn't want to. I won't sell Palmer because Palmer's going to be important for 29, so that's fine. So that leaves me just with Elanga, but I want Elanga for 29, so I'm not going to go for
just do Rodgers next week, surely.
That's exactly right. Yeah. So next week I'll either go Rodgers or I'll go Luis Diaz to a Bournemouth mid, and then Kluivert will have already had his baby, and then the saga will be over.
Is Kluivert your favourite?
Yeah. Yeah. I prefer Kluivert to the others, but also, when they have these, unless the baby comes on match day, they don't tend to miss games because of it anymore.
Yeah, I guess night before possibly. We've been up all night. You're going to play football. I don't know. Probably
she might be really
qualified on the topic than me. So.
Yeah. Well, I have a bit of a reputation for being on baby watch with these professional footballers as well whenever they're about to have a baby. But yeah, they don't tend to miss games. I think I can remember one that's missed a game because of it. That's it. So unless she gives birth like that night or early that morning, it's probably unlikely.
Yeah, sorry, just sorting out something in the chat. Should really get moderators on these streams. Moving on. Bournemouth mids. I think I really like Dango, I keep going back and forth on Dango against Kluivert.
I can understand
his data's just better.
Yeah.
But
his data's better because
and he's 1 million cheaper.
Yeah. But pens.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tricky. It's probably I can afford my plan's always been Gordon to Bournemouth this week and then Rodgers to Mbuemo next week. But if I go Kluivert over Dango, that limits my manager transfer next week if I still buy Mbuemo to a 0.5 manager. So I'd have to go Ipswich or Southampton, or Ipswich, Sam. So yeah, if I get Kluivert and still want Mbuemo, it essentially rules out like a bigger manager.
But from what you're saying, you don't want a bigger manager anyway because you want to do the upside of the table bonus. So
I guess
does it matter?
But that would just completely take me down the path towards probably McKenna.
Towards Potter
at Arsenal. Not doing that.
Imagine going there. That'd be crazy times.
Part of me just kind of wants to keep Slot for City and just like.
Yeah, but you don't get the bonus at all, then, Tom.
Yeah, but it will be it'll be a -4 involved. It is boring. Well, yeah.
Don't be boring, Tom.
You were the one that was advocating going safe if you get your points.
Yeah, but I've been rogue. I've had Moyes. I'm going Emery.
Yeah, but Slot with 4 games. I think that was the play. I don't know.
Well, we'll find out, won't we?
Yeah, these Everton and Villa games are going to be so good. The swings are going to be wild.
Yeah.
19
they will
points.
be massive.
Who would think of such an overpowered chip? I don't know.
Who would think about, David Moyes saving my season?
Just need Liverpool to batter Everton.
No, draw. 0-0 draw. Boring, 0-0 draw.
Okay, we'll get into a transfer from Mike. -8 this is. So it's just chaos. 8 Nori, Bruno, João Pedro. We'll do the players and then we'll do the manager. Because Moyes to Emery, like, you're doing that regardless, aren't you? So.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is essentially for a -4 then. The players. 8 Nori, Bruno, João Pedro to Munoz, Kluivert and Watkins. We should say on Watkins, he's out for the FA Cup, but Emery says he should be back in training on Monday. So therefore he would have a full week to the game. And then Munoz, you said earlier you prefer Kirkez because of 29. But
I just think that it depends on your strategy for 29, doesn't it? If your strategy for 29 is to free hit, then fill your boots with doublers for 25. If you've already got 3 Liverpool and then you do this transfer and you bring in Munoz and Watkins, then you're at 5 in those 2 teams that aren't playing. Plus, I'm assuming that somewhere along the lines, you've got some Newcastle assets as well. So you could be on, say, 7. If you've then got a Mateta or somebody else from Palace as well, like you could feasibly be on 8 or 9 players blanking out of these 2 games now if you do that transfer. So I think it does depend on what your strategy for 29 is going to look like, and we probably won't know that realistically until after the FA Cup weekend. Then we'll get a better understanding of what the further later game weeks are going to look like and the games that are definitely on.
Yeah.
So
I mean, if Mike can afford it, surely you'd just keep 8 Nori because he's got good fixtures and plays 29. Wolves are going to come on radar in the next few weeks.
Yeah.
If you can do Bruno and Pedro to Kluivert and Watkins, it seems pretty good.
Yeah.
What do you think about Watkins and Villa?
I'm not keen on Watkins, to be honest, though.
You're not looking at Isak to Watkins? Like a few?
No, I'm not. And maybe that's a bad judgment on my part, but I just don't.
I mean, if you're moving managers as well, getting into hits territory, it's like, do people really think Isak's going to struggle against City?
Well, this is the thing, isn't it? So, like, I'm looking at the fixtures for next week. Obviously, Newcastle have got Man City, but we've seen Isak, and all right, he's in the League Cup, but we've seen Isak perform incredibly well against Arsenal, and the Arsenal defence is much better than the City one. So, I can see Isak doing well against Man City. Like, having him in my team does not worry me in the slightest for that week. And okay, Aston Villa have a nice fixture at home to Ipswich, and then obviously it's the Liverpool game. But you realistically would be buying Watkins primarily for the Ipswich game, right? And I just think that, you know, when you look at what happens after that for them, so game week 26, they've then got the home fixture against Chelsea. Game week 27, they're at Crystal Palace. Game week 28, where are they? Villa, Brentford. They're away at Brentford. Like, those aren't 3 fixtures after this one that scream, I must have multiple Villa assets in my team, in my view. So I guess it depends on how heavily you want to go into the double game week fever, even if it's to the detriment of your team in 29. And we should remember that often single game week players outperform their double game week counterparts. Like, we've already seen that with Chris Wood. So many managers selling him last week to bring in Ndiaye or to bring in Gakpo. Now, obviously, both of them could still return in the second game and outscore Wood, but Wood's haul is huge. So, yeah, I would err on the side of caution. Like, Fernandes to Kluivert, I'm aboard that train. I think if you want to sell 8 Nori, I'd be more inclined to go for a Kirkez or somebody in that ballpark rather than Munoz, but that's just me. Because Munoz, there's no benefit, is there? There's no double, and it's just a blank coming. I know it's great.
An amazing
fixtures,
player.
I know.
I know. It's good fun. He is genuinely so fun.
I know. And if you've got him, he's one of those that I'm not going to get for the next 5 weeks, and I'm going to hate it, or 4 weeks, and I'm going to hate it that I don't have him. But I make peace with it because I've already got Mateta. So, and then I'll can get
that's
him
like
on
me with
card.
Mateta. Not going to have him, but a good player.
Yeah.
So you happy just with Rodgers? Because Nuclear Adams is looking at a -8. Gordon, Trent, and Ndiaye for Kirkez, Rashford, and Watkins.
Is that assuming that Trent's out?
I assume so, yeah.
Yeah.
Rashford, we're going to have to see.
Rashford seems really...
If he scores in the Cup this weekend, though, it'll take off.
Yeah, but Tom, did you see his pictures when he signed?
Sam,
like,
we're not going through this.
He
the
just
man
looks...
wants a beard. I want a beard.
I'm fine with... Tom, you can't grow a beard yet, I'm afraid. You have to wait a few more years. Rashford looked like a man that hasn't played football for months. Like, he looked like a man that needs to be put through training and given some match fitness. And
No, I agree with all that, but I'm just saying if he scores in the cup, it'll
do you
take
think
off.
he's going to... Okay, but how many minutes do you realistically think that Rashford can play right now?
I don't know. He started his first... I think he started his last United game in December. So
It was the derby,
5
the last
weeks.
time he started. Wasn't it? It was the Manchester derby. So when was that?
No, I'm not advocating him, and I'm not going to go there, but I'm just... If he does score in the cup, it will take off.
I'm just looking for when the derby
I'm happy
was.
with Rodgers.
Was it 16? Why is 16 in my head? Yeah, game week 16. That's the last time he played, the 14th of December. It's the last time he started a match. It is now,
Yes,
by the time it rolls round to next game week, it will be 2 months since he started a football match. Like, and I don't mean this in a disrespectful way to Rashford at all, because I think Rashford is absolutely quality player when he's on it. And I like the idea of owning him again in FPL, for sure. I just don't know that you can go straight in on him, because I don't know that he's going to be able to play. I don't know if he's going to be able to start games. I suspect it will be like a player coming back from injury, that they're going to come on for like 30 minutes here, 30 minutes there. He could very easily score against Spurs in the FA Cup at the weekend. We've got to go to Villa. That's going to be fun. But I don't see him starting games yet. I might be completely wrong. He might be fully fit and ready to go. I just don't see it. I don't see how he can be out for 2 months. And it's not like, I haven't started a game. He's just been out, like not in squads, not training with it. Like, for me, I think Villa are going to need a little bit of time building him up. So I wouldn't, personally.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. If you didn't have Rodgers, would you buy Rodgers over Bournemouth for a 1 week punt?
No.
You wouldn't.
I just think that, against Southampton, that Bournemouth fixture could go off, couldn't it? So it's that toss-up between the double game weekers and the single game weekers. So if I buy Rodgers, yes, I've got an extra fixture this week, but I caused myself a more long-term problem, and the extra fixture is against Liverpool. Whereas if I buy Cliver or Otara or Semenyo, if you prefer, it's still a great single game week fixture this week, and you have a nice fixture on paper against Brentford in 29 when everyone else is blanking. So I'd still go for the Bournemouth players over him.
Yeah. Sam, there's someone called Lee in the chat saying that Rashford's worth a punt.
Hang on a minute. Lee, behave.
Or is he? You should have got him on.
He's in the living room. He's literally just got home. He's been away. So he's just got home. He's back in the country for about 24 hours and then he flies out again.
What did he do
Chaos.
this week? Chip?
He's not played a chip. Because when it landed, he'll probably come in a minute now. You've told him to. He's listening. When it all got announced last Friday, he'd already made a transfer on Thursday night because Mboma was rising in price. So he'd already done his transfer for the week and done that. So any further transfers would have been a hit. He already had 3 Liverpool and he didn't want to sell Gakpo. And he had no money in the bank either. So Gakpo would have had to come significantly down in order to free up the money for slots. So he basically just decided that it was too chaotic and he wasn't going there, and he just left it until...
Could have done better and slot in.
Yeah, well, he could have done, couldn't he? But I don't think that was ever really on the
Neil
cards. So
got
now we
better,
can keep
you
it.
know.
Yeah, but Neil is like...
Yeah, but how crazy is that?
He's
That
like
is-
elite.
Yeah, that's mental.
There you go. No transfers, no
chips.
budget. But then, as I said to him, all right, you take a hit this week and actually probably next week and the week after. But come game week, whenever you play it, then you go, right? Now, the question I think he's got is, if Trent is out, you sell Trent, you don't go for another Liverpool player, and then you could get Slot as your assistant manager and start it this week.
Yeah, just get Kirkaz or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Last word on Rashford. Could do a Lingard. There we go. We'll see.
He could do. I'm not convinced he will, but I might be wrong.
No,
he might be fit.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Keep getting your questions in, guys. We've been going almost half an hour, so we'll have a quick message from the video sponsors this week, which is NordVPN. So we've teamed up with NordVPN to give you a cracking deal, up to 70% off their 2-year plans, with a 30-day money back guarantee. That's a mouthful. So it's a completely risk-free purchase. Obviously, a VPN, I'm sure you all know what that is, but just provides security on public Wi-Fi. And so you can stream your British TV subscriptions abroad, like iPlayer, etc. Manage passwords. It can point out fake shops, like the ones you get on Instagram, the dodgy adverts. Password managers, and there is one other thing which is in this document. Monitor your data leaks. There you go. There's so much cool stuff. It just forget all about it. But yeah, that's in the description. Do check that out. Basically a free trial with the 30-day money back guarantee. Thank you. Cool. So back with FPL. Even Martin Odegaard beats Tom's beard. That's good. That's a good line.
That is brilliant. Tom does have a little beard sometimes,
I do
don't
actually,
you? Yeah, there it is. Look,
the light's not great, but there's something.
He does have a little tiny beard.
There.
It's coming.
Does Martin Odegaard not struggle to grow a beard or something?
He's like the baby-faced assassin, isn't he, Martin Odegaard?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not like Van der Ven. Van der Ven and Lee don't have beards, Sam, so...
I don't like beards. I have a thing about beards. I get upset with Lee if he tries to grow one. Make him shave it off. I don't like stubble at all.
Next question. Sell Rodgers or Ahmad to Kluivert? And if Ahmad, then who to bench, Rodgers and Kluivert or Kluivert?
You wouldn't bench Kluivert.
I just wouldn't get Kluivert. Surely you play Rodgers this week and you sit Kluivert out this week. I wouldn't have thought.
Would you? If you've got a route to Kluivert from Ahmad, I'd do that.
But Ahmad has Leicester in 29.
Okay.
But surely surely you wait. Surely this week, right? If Ahmad is on your bench and you're starting Rodgers, you start Rodgers, then just do Rodgers out next week.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I'm going to wait a week and I'm going to get Kluivert for Rodgers next week. Yes. But if you really want to get him now, then I'd sell Ahmad and do it that way.
And
but then you've got a benching
Rodgers.
Problem because you can't bench Rodgers or Kluivert. So then you've got to bench somebody else. So,
and as Sushant says, Ahmad has Spurs this week.
More importantly, Ahmad has a fixture in 29.
Which is Leicester. So 2 good fixtures.
So I think but equally, I'm not,
I think...
If I don't think you can sell Rodgers this week.
I wouldn't look for a way out of Rodgers this week. I actually think Southampton have been playing quite well. I'm not sure it'll be an easy game.
Okay.
Well, they won last time. They did well at Old Trafford.
Yeah, but they played Ipswich.
Yeah, but Bournemouth, like we saw with Forest, Bournemouth are not going to go and score 3 or 4 every week. I think Juric is quite impressive.
I think they might put 3 or 4 past Southampton this week.
Do you think?
Yes.
I think you're just saying that because you're buying Kluivert.
I'm not buying Kluivert. I can't. I've got to keep Rodgers for a week.
Fair enough.
I'm getting Kirkers.
Another question, Sam, you'll like this. Should I keep Kulusevski until Ipswich? When's Ipswich? No, 2 weeks.
26, yeah. It depends, doesn't it? Because in the fixtures, it's Man U next, then it's the Ipswich game.
On paper, he could get something. But if you can go to Kluivert or something, surely you just go to Kluivert.
Yeah. He's guaranteed to start. So he obviously has a fixture in 29. So from that perspective, he's an okay hold. It depends on the strategy again, doesn't it, for 29? But I do think that Kluivert is a better own for the next few weeks.
Yeah. What do you think about Tell, just quickly?
Time will tell.
Time will tell, yeah. Tell me what you think.
It depends where they play him, I think. So he wants to be a striker. He wants to play in the number 9. Clearly, he's only going to play in the number 9. We will now because Richarlison's out. But when Solanke comes back, he won't. Solanke will be the number 9. So then it's going to be, where does he go? So he can play off the left. Obviously, that's where you'll find the captain. So, unlikely to play there. He's one of the areas that he's been most successful in the past has been as a second striker. So potentially he plays alongside Solanke as a second striker, which could work quite nicely because that would allow Kulusevski to go out onto the right. Probably is a problem for Brennan when Brennan comes back, because then where does he fit? It's also probably a problem for Maddison as well, but they could come off the bench. So
Maddison's done at Spurs, isn't
he? Well, we're about to find out. I mean, he keeps getting injured, doesn't he, as well, which is not ideal. But I think Tell could be interesting. He's nicely priced. He's a midfielder rather than a forward, which I thought was interesting. I was kind of expecting him to be a forward, given that's where I'm expecting him to play most of his minutes. So if he's going to be a midfielder in the game but play out of position up front for Spurs, and Spurs can turn their season around, which at some point they're going to have to if they want to stand a chance of anything, then he will have to. He could be an option, but he's definitely not an option yet.
Yeah, if you'd got a double, if you'd beat Liverpool last night, would have been popular, I think.
Maybe.
If Richarlison had still got injured in this.
Yeah, I mean, Richarlison's going to be out now, but yeah.
I thought you were quite hard done by that. It looked slightly like a red card, to be quite honest.
I thought it was a red card as well, but don't get me started.
Van Dijk knew exactly what he was doing.
Yeah, hooligan.
We talked about Isak, so we'll skip the Isak part of the question, but is Chris Wood a hold with the fixtures? So he's got Fulham, City, Arsenal, I think.
So people keep telling me they're going to sell Chris Wood.
But he plays in 29, we should say, against Ipswich.
People keep telling me they're going to sell Chris Wood because of the difficult fixtures, and I just don't get it, because all three of those defences are not playing well at the moment. Like, all right, you Fulham are doing nicely. They're ticking along, they're picking up points, but they're conceding goals. So there's definitely potential that he gets goals in that game. Then you've got the game against Man United. Well, they're like Spurs, that anything could happen. And they're definitely not keeping clean sheets. They're all over the place. And now they've lost Martinez as well. So that's another problem to add to their defensive crisis that they've got going on. So there's definitely goals there for him. And then it's City, who, well, goodness me, their defence just doesn't exist half of the time. So they can score goals, but they don't defend. So I think Chris Wood is absolutely a hold for the next 3 weeks. And then you get him in 29 and he's got a great fixture where he could go big. So, yeah, I never understood the Chris Wood out stuff. And I still maintain that I would keep him.
Yeah, I just got him for Southampton. 30 odd points in 3 weeks. It's just,
he's great.
And his ownership's so high, it's kind of scary to sell him. And if he didn't play in 29, it might be more of a conversation, but like, he plays Ipswich in the blank. Yeah. So, it could be the best captain that week.
Definitely a hold. He's definitely, yeah, I think he might be.
I'm going Haaland, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to probably go Wood.
Have you got a plan to get Haaland?
No, not yet. I might, and this is where the next few weeks are going to be quite interesting. I'm going to watch City quite carefully, because it might be like that time when we all had Alvarez, and I might go for Marmoush instead.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that.
Well, I don't know how I feel about it yet either. I've got to watch how the next few weeks go before I'm not investing in City at any point now in the next couple of weeks. So I've got until 29 to work out my City strategy, basically.
Yeah, I've earmarked Salah and Isak to Foden and Haaland.
What?
For 2 weeks, because I don't have as much value as you do.
Wow.
Literally on the blank, 429.
How much money do you have then? Not a lot in them.
Well, I think for the two, I'd lose 0.4.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that seems like a no-brainer.
Gosh, you got late on the bandwagons.
Yeah. And then in 30, City play Leicester. So.
Yeah, but, all good teams lose to Leicester.
Lee, when's the best time to play the assistant manager chip, if not 25? Asking for a friend.
Should have played it last week, Lee. Should have played it last week.
If you, as you say, he's got a triple Liverpool.
Yeah. Well, he's got one of them's Trent. So if Trent is out, then it could be now.
Yeah. But does he have triple captain?
No.
So he's going to triple Salah. Oh, he doesn't have it.
No, he's played it. He played it on Salah against Southampton a few weeks back when he braced. So
that's not bad.
You can play it in 31 to 33, or you can play it in 36 to 38 and hit one of the other two doubles.
Or you could go Emery.
Or you play it now. Yeah, but he's not going to go Emery against his own team, is he?
Well, that's the one you do. There's no other doubler.
Well, there's slot if Trent's out.
If Trent is out. If Trent's out, I think you should do it this week.
Go Trent to Kirkhead and play it on slot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
because then you've got Slot, then you've got McKenna against Tottenham, possibly.
I mean, he's not doing that if he wants to live in this house, is he?
Would you pick McKenna against Spurs or Pep against Liverpool?
Neither. I pick Uric.
You just said Southampton were rubbish.
Well, I just don't want to pick either of the two that you've pointed out. I'd go Bournemouth in that week.
No, you've got to chase the 19.
Yeah, but you didn't this week.
Yeah, but
how can you sit there and go, you've got to chase the table bonus? You didn't chase the table bonus, Tom.
Because this is the only time this season you can get the 2 doublers.
I know, Tom, but you've just sat there and said you've got to chase the table bonus, and you've gone for Slot, who's at the top of the league, where you get no table bonus.
It's double-double.
You are a mentalist. But you can get the double-double anyway, just by moving the manager chip and still chasing the bonus. Yeah, so save a transfer,
and I don't like Moyes. I didn't trust Moyes. I didn't think Beto was competent enough to beat Leicester.
Should have spoken to Neil then, shouldn't you?
But it turns out Pickford can just launch a goal kick and Leicester concede. So
you are such a hypocrite. You can't sit there and say
this is what
you've got to play it and then say, oh yeah, I've played it on Slot.
Yeah, because it's double. That's why.
Ridiculous.
Unbelievable.
Oh, you are funny. I don't know what to do with you, Tom.
Let's find another question.
Come on, find a good one.
What to do with Luis Diaz? You've got Diaz, Sam.
What to do? Well, you can't do anything with him ahead of the double. You've got to hold him. You've got to rest in the League Cup. So surely that means I can't see them in playing against.
Do you still think he's in the first choice team?
Yeah, I think his front three is still, if all fit and available, it's still Jota, Diaz, and Salah. I think that's his
it's got to be Gakpo. I don't think Gakpo hasn't been benched.
He's on fire at the moment. No, well, I know, but he's not had players to play in that position, has he? Because Darwin's not a player. So let's not put him in the conversation.
No, he's not. I don't think you could sell Diaz or anything. I think if he was benched against Everton for Jota, for example, I know then you'd say, well, he's going to start, but I think you'd have to say he's not.
Jota's not going to. Let's be frank. Jota's been injured for such a long time. He came back and then got injured again. He's not rushing Jota back. He's not. He's going to have to ease him back into the team. And Slot's been very good at being careful and managing recoveries. Yeah. I cannot see that Jota's going to just suddenly be played for like 90 minutes week after week after week. So I think Jota's going to be protected.
The Darwin Love is coming in the chat. Lee says he was amazing last night.
Yeah, but Lee...
Nikolai says he was immensely good.
Lee's as big a hypocrite as you. If you listen to him off stream and things he says about Darwin Núñez, in reality...
He was good last night, though, in fairness.
Well, all right, one game. We'll give him one game.
Penalty.
Well, yeah, Kinski had a nightmare, didn't he?
But he was the best keeper in the world.
Who said that?
After the first leg, everyone was saying that.
Oh, I don't know about that. I definitely didn't say that. Vicky will be back soon. It's all going to be fine. But Jota's not going to be rushed back. I think that's the point. So Luis Diaz, I think, is a hold for the double.
Yeah.
But then after that, I'm going to be selling.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. Prepare for 29.
Yeah, exactly.
Thoughts on going... What's this? I'm just making sense of this. Thoughts on going for assistant manager on Marco Silva and then Pep over Emery because you don't have 0.5 to get a slot. But essentially, is there any scope to not play Emery this week?
Yeah, if you want to go, if you think that there is a...
Because Marco Silva, I guess you're chasing that 19 if they can beat Forest at home, which they could do.
Just going to look at what the table is at the moment.
Because Fulham have bonus against Forest.
Premier League table. Here we go.
I don't necessarily mind that. If you're convinced that Liverpool beat Villa, I don't mind it. I don't.
But equally, I'm pretty convinced that Aston Villa are going to beat Ipswich.
So you've got your 9 or 10.
So you've already got your 9 or 10 locked in. So anything he gets against Liverpool is a bonus. So they score a goal, it's a bonus. They keep a clean sheet, it's a bonus, right?
Yeah.
Whereas, so the only way I'd consider it is if there is a manager that you are pretty convinced is going to beat somebody on a table bonus. So you've got to be pretty convinced that somebody at the bottom of the league-ish, or at least halfway down the league, is going to beat somebody 5 places above them So I'm just looking at who that might be. So because
Marco Silva
where's
against
Fulham?
Forest.
I wouldn't be convinced that Fulham are going to beat Forest.
But that's the one, though, isn't it? Like, that's... I mean, that the point of this table bonus, though, you're never convinced, really, you're going to get it.
Well, I don't know. Like, if Brentford were a place higher, I'd have a bet on Potter beating Brentford.
Yeah. Someone in the chat saying, is there a table bonus for drawing? Yes, there is. 6
Yeah,
points.
you get. Well, you'd get 8, wouldn't you? 3 points plus 5 points.
And the normal win for slot, for example, is 6. So a draw is better. A table
draw is better.
Yeah.
A table draw is better than a win for another team. So, yeah, it's a shame that Brentford aren't one place higher or West Ham aren't one place. Although, if Everton beat Liverpool, West Ham would be 5 slots below Brentford.
And that would be the Potter
and
one.
you'd get the table bonus. So then I would go Potter if you want to go outside Emery, but only if Everton go above West Ham. So they would just need a draw because their goal difference is significantly better than the -17 that West Ham are on. How can you be -17 goals?
They must have got battered a couple of times.
They have, haven't they? Good Lord. Yeah. So that's where I'd look.
Yeah. Makes sense. Thoughts on Bruno and Jackson to Rodgers and Watkins and then activate Emery? On paper, I like that, to be honest. Jackson, I would take out Jackson. He's a fitness doubt for the weekend. Although, having said that...
And also not been very good.
He hasn't been great. But it is Leicester and Southampton in the next few.
But if you've got Palmer, you do need Jackson as well.
No, but is Watkins that much better? Probably. As opposed, like, it's worth saving a transfer. If you've had Jackson this long, I wouldn't necessarily mind keeping for Leicester and Southampton. But I like those moves, though. Bruno and Jackson to Rodgers and Watkins.
Yeah, I think I do too. But I don't like the idea of having Watkins long term. So it would be a bit of a short term thing, but then that's fine because you've got to get rid of him before 29 anyway.
Yeah. Makes sense. Lee saying, making jokes about Spurs, Sam. Sam, is it you or Lee cooking tonight? Because I don't think you should cook for Lee after this. Commemorative DVD of the first leg available in the Spurs shop. That is funny, to be fair.
Lee's paying for a takeaway at this rate.
No, there you go. Heard that, Lee.
I was nice to him as well. He flew in and I knew I was going to be here when I got home. So I made him soup. I made him some homemade soup and I baked him some bread and I made a cake and I left it on the side ready for when he got home. And he comes in here. I tell you what.
That's why you weren't replying to my work messages.
It's going to be... What work messages? I reply to all of your messages. I reply to all... I was in my lunch break, Thomas. I always reply to your messages immediately as soon as you send them, unless you're being rude, and then I ignore you, which happens sometimes when you troll me.
Yes, yeah. I was quiet last night. Lee saying the banana bread was epic, so there you go.
It is very nice, yeah. You see, I'm nice like that. I'm a good wife. Even if he's being rude to me in this chat.
All right, we've been going 45 minutes, so get your final questions in. It seems like a much more simpler week than if you and Arsenal had won. Would have been chaos. 4 doublers.
Yeah, but I just think you would have just accepted less doublers.
Everyone would be getting Jimenez to captain.
Brilliant.
Captain Tell, that's what you'd have done.
I would not.
Would you have still captain Salah against Wolves? It's completely hypothetical, so it doesn't have to be a long answer. But
I absolutely would not have captained a Spurs player in the double game week, no.
Yeah. Kirkez or add another Arsenal defender for the next few weeks. Arsenal's fixtures are really good.
I've got 2 Arsenal defenders. It's not been great. I'm just going to put that out there.
No. West Ham, Leicester, though.
Yeah, but they're so... They just concede 1 goal here or there, and it's really frustrating having 2 of them, so I would not... I'd get Kirkez rather than another Arsenal defender. Easily.
Yeah, makes sense. FPL Spartans saying, what was the message you sent to Sonaldo that made him flustered on burning questions?
What have you done to Sonaldo?
No, he was
You can't
just
upset
saying,
the
"Oh,
nicest
thanks for
man in
Tom.
football.
It's been really nice having you on the streams, etc." And I just sent him a message on the group chat saying, "You stop, you're making me blush." That was it. And then Sonaldo got all funny about it.
You can't be horrible about Sonaldo. He is a legend. That man, I love him a lot. He's so nice.
Burning Questions has been great this year.
So it says you.
Yeah.
The Q&A's been an absolute chaos, but
yeah, get someone who actually turns up would be a start. But anyway.
Where is he? Just sunning himself in Cape Verde all the time. Absolutely ridiculous. I've had to come here and face the crowd of negativity.
I haven't even
on Spurs.
asked you about Spurs. I haven't.
I'm not saying about you.
We had a question earlier saying why did Ange not play Ange ball?
Who knows why Ange isn't playing Ange ball? But the most important thing is that can we all remember, please, that next week Az still needs some grief when he's back because the game week will have only just finished, so we can still talk about Brighton next week.
Yeah, Black Box will be good as well.
He's probably not going on.
Yeah, probably not doing that this week.
He's probably sacked it off. Yeah, probably send Jelena instead.
Thoughts on doubling up on Bournemouth, Kirkes, and then a midfielder? No issues with that at all.
No, I'm all aboard that train.
Wouldn't mind two mids if you like.
Yep.
If you've gone off Ahmad and Rodgers next week.
Yep.
When should we look at bench boosting? Save it, I'd imagine.
Yeah, one of the doubles, 33, 36, something like that.
33, 36. Watkins in to replace one of Mateta, Isak, or Gakpo.
I just think that Watkins, you can't. Why would you replace Gakpo? He's got a double.
Is there a potential benching at some point?
Tom, is there a potential that Watkins gets 4 points across this double game week?
No, but the question's phrased as in that he wants Watkins. So, if you had to sell, you probably... I mean, yeah, you're not selling Gakpo before a double, and then it's Isak or Mateta.
I don't think you can sell Mateta.
No, Everton at home. It's
then
probably
you'd have
Isak.
to sell Wood.
No, it's Isak.
Yeah, do you have to sell Isak? Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd have to. I don't know why you'd want to, but you'd have to.
Lee's asked the question. Lee, do a super chat. We'll answer it. No.
What's he saying now?
He's said, Raya to Kepa for free to fund Enzo to Cliver for a hit. I don't mind that. Selling Raya before Leicester's quite annoying, but
he has got Gabriel, so he will still get the Arsenal clean sheet if they came. I'd do that. Enzo's just been stinking up his team for ages. I know he got something on his bench the other week, but at least it gives you a player that you want to play.
Yeah.
But then you do have to think about who you're going to bench.
For a hit though, like you thinking Raya gets 6 against Leicester, and then I'm not convinced Bournemouth keep a clean sheet against Southampton. I think that game will be much closer.
What is wrong with you? Why do you think that Southampton have suddenly beat Barcelona?
I don't think they beat Barcelona.
Just because they played well against Ipswich.
Well, I thought I've been quite a little bit impressed with them since Juric came in.
Have you?
They've scored in the last 4 matches.
They won't score against Bournemouth.
I think. Well, we'll see. You know, they scored 2 against Forest. Scored at Old Trafford. They dominated at Old Trafford. They beat Ipswich. Scored against Newcastle. Yeah, Lee says he's leaning towards no because of the hit, and I probably agree.
Lee can't really take hits at the moment because he's not got a chip active. If you're going to take a hit, wait for Trent news, is my advice.
Yeah. Colm says, Sam, you've been bigging up Kirkes a lot. Well, he hasn't said that, but that's what I'm providing the context. But why not Howson at 0.5 cheaper?
I like him as well. But I just think you get more attacking threat with Kirkes. Like, he takes up those positions that, like, Munoz does. Yep. Whereas with Howson, you're reliant on set-piece threat, which is also not terrible at all. Don't get me wrong. And I think if your budget... So, for me, I need to look at how much... Because if I'm going Lewis Hall, I can't actually afford Kirkes because I need the money for Emery. So then it would have to be Howson. Whereas if Trent is out and I go Trent, then I'll go Kirkes because I'd still have loads of money then left for Emery.
So if Trent's fit, are you buying...
I'll have to buy Howson instead of Kirkes because I need the money for Emery.
Cool. rank the Bournemouth mids. I think Clivert just, then Dango, then Semenyo.
I'll go with that. I think I would have I think I would swap Semenyo and Altara over, but I'm all right with the way you've got it. Clivert is definitely the top one for me.
Yeah. Sam, what flavour was the soup? Asked James.
Leek and potato. It's yummy.
That's a good choice.
Yeah, it's great. I'm on a health kick at the moment, so gym pre-work and then gym after work as well, and soup for lunch.
Nice. Very
it's all
healthy.
going well. I know, I'm trying to be good.
This is a question from Peter, which is relevant to me because you've used the triple captain. I did the assistant manager in 24. I still got the triple.
Yeah.
It's interesting, sort of. There's either the smaller double, which we could have.
Mm-hmm.
But if I don't free hit in 29, then I'd wildcard 31, bench boost in the big double, free hit in the blank. So then, yeah, the 33 small double, if it is 33 or 36, could be Isak, would have a double. Potentially, would probably be where I'd say. But you've also got upcoming, you've got Haaland at home to Leicester, Palmer at home to Leicester, Salah at home to Southampton.
So a single game week on Palmer is what you're saying?
Well, I think it's an option,
or Haaland.
Don't you? I mean, Leicester just conceded 4 to Everton, twice to Beto. That's exactly the type of game that Palmer goes off and gets a hat-trick, like he does.
Again.
Yeah. but I'd probably save it for the small double.
Yeah.
But I haven't quite decided. Haaland at home to Leicester would be quite tempting in 30. Because what a differential that would be. You've got 300% EO on a player who's 20% owned.
I mean, I did it on Haaland when he played Southampton. It didn't go well.
What did you get for that?
1 goal.
Yeah. Why did you do that?
It seemed like a good idea at the time. He was in good form at the time, wasn't he?
Yeah, that's true. Should I start Rodgers or Visser? Rodgers with the double,
have to start,
Visser at West Ham.
You have to start the doubler. You can't bench a double game week player.
Yeah.
When one of the games is Ipswich.
I agree with that. I would just say that Visser's so due. It's unbelievable. The amount of XG.
Is.
He put up over 1 at XG against you guys.
Yep, I know. I watched. But you can't bench a doubler.
No, I wouldn't do that either. 4 minutes left. Any final questions? Sam, have you got a question? Were you struggling with transfers?
No, I'm just waiting for Slot to give me some firm news on Trent. And then I know what I'm doing. And then it'll be Emery for the manager. It's just then which defender makes way for which Bournemouth defender. 100% of Bournemouth defender comes in this week. It's just how and who.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
What am I doing? The plan would be to keep Slot, obviously, and do Gordon to a Bournemouth midfielder.
Oh, yeah, Clivert. But then you can't, so you might have to go with Tara.
Yes. Going Clivert would lock me into a cheap manager, a 0.5 manager.
They're
obviously,
quite fun.
If Trent's out, yeah. I mean, we said you could go Ipswich, Southampton.
Yeah.
Potter against Arsenal. I'm not doing that.
That would be so funny if that came off, though.
Yeah,
if you went Potter against Arsenal and it paid off, that would be the funniest thing ever because, you're talking about going Uric.
Depending if Brighton have no midfielders left, Lee asked a question about Palmer. Palmer in the European squad. Maresca giving up on the league. I wouldn't say giving up on the league. I think
I thought you weren't in the title race. I thought that's what you said.
We're in the top 3 race. I never said we're in the title race. No, I don't think it's giving up on the league. Good players play twice a week all season. Salah's played in Europe all season. So having Palmer in the squad when we get to the semi-finals, final just seems like standard. And because the players that he replaced, like Disasi, Vega, Chukwuemeka, all because they left. So it was really there was no other choice. So I don't think it really means anything, to be honest. He won't be benched in a Premier League game, that's for sure. Especially now João Felix is gone. Best defender to bring in this week, we both think Kirkes or Howson, if you want money. Bournemouth. Enzo or Ahmad to Cliver. Enzo.
Yeah.
Because Ahmad has Leicester in the blank. Valentine's next week, what are your plans? Crikey. Sam?
You probably got better ones than me. Go on, because you're new and in love. Go on, what are you doing?
I will be off out for a meal on the Thursday because my girlfriend is working Friday and Saturday. So.
Aww.
Be a meal on the Thursday.
That's sweet. We have been together for 20 years now, so we don't like Valentine's Day. I've got him a card. I'm very happy with it. I can't show you because he's watching, so I can't show you it. But
is it cute or rude? Is it a cute or a funny card?
It's not rude.
No, but you know a funny card. Do you see them all around?
No, I don't think it's either. I can't really say. I don't know why I brought this up because I can't say anything because he's here.
Okay, so don't. And it's all right. A nice card. That's good.
Yeah, it's good. I'm very happy with it. And then, but Lee's away all next week, so he doesn't get back until Friday. I don't even know what time he gets back on Friday. And then we've got kids, so we will probably, I don't know,
You'll be watching Chelsea Brighton on Sky Sports, I'd imagine.
We will definitely be watching Chelsea Brighton, and we probably will, don't know, I'll either cook or we'll get a takeaway or something. We go to the gym on a Friday night with the kids, so we'll do that, and then when they're in bed, have a takeaway or something, maybe. Just us. How exciting.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
All right, I think we will leave that there before we go on another tangent. Just a quick...
I think it might be me that's the problem with tangents because this happens with Az. So I can't really blame. I thought it was him, but it happens when I'm with you as well. So it must be a me thing.
Yeah, possibly. Just a final shout out to the video sponsor, NordVPN. Up to 70% off their 2-year plans on the link in the description. And it's risk-free, so if you're thinking of trying out a VPN, you go on holiday, or do you just want better internet security when you're on dangerous public networks? You never know who's watching when you're on the Costa Wi-Fi. That's probably libelous, actually. I'll retract shouting out a brand there for Costa. Any public Wi-Fi network, people can be listening or watching. So check out NordVPN, the 30-day money-back guarantee, and that's in the description. Sam? Have a good Friday night.
I will, thank you. You too. Enjoy the FA Cup this weekend. Who you got?
Brighton away Saturday. We got Brighton away, then Brighton away.
Back-to-back Brightons.
Yeah. I'm slightly apprehensive that they'll respond after their 7-0.
Yeah.
And despite the banter, if Jackson is injured and Kunku up front, it's never good, in my opinion. But yeah, Az could be smiling this time next week or Thursday next week.
I doubt it. And I don't think he will be on Friday
either.
Not convinced
you'll be smiling next week either.
Well, Yels is a Chelsea fan, isn't she? So they're going to be having a fun Valentine's Day together. Maybe they should just ignore. Maybe they should just ignore that Valentine's Day exists.
That's good, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Plenty on the Scout channel. Do like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. We had an emergency Scoutcast last night on the final whistle, so double game week reaction. Joe is hitting you with a video tomorrow morning with his chip strategy, and then next week it's back into normal schedule. And Az and Sam, is Az back? I don't know. Possibly.
Oh, God knows, Tom. At this point, who knows with Az? But yeah, I believe that we are streaming together. Although I might be 5 minutes late because I got to do parents' evening because Lee's away.
Oh, you're always, that's fine.
But that's standard. It'll probably be 4:15 next week.
Cool. That'll be Thursday, not Friday. So you can talk about the derby, the final part of this long game week.
Yes.
All right. Cheers, guys. Have a good weekend. Enjoy the FA Cup, and we'll see you next week.
See you later.